this tutorial, you will learn how to create destructible objects in a 2D game where your player can attack, trigger a destruction animation, and have the object destroy itself after a short delay. This is a core mechanic that makes your game feel more interactive and dynamic. Huge thanks to Yuchen and Hector23 for supporting me on Patreon and unlocking exclusive benefits. If you are interested, you can join it too. Now let's jump and build it step by step.
To make destructible objects, I'm gonna head over to my sprites folder. Let's select the sprite. I'm gonna click on open sprite editor, and I'm gonna slice it grid by cell count instead of automatically. First thing, I'm gonna choose pixel per unit to something like 16, filter mode to point no filter, and then apply. And I'm gonna click on slice. Let's choose automatic to grid by cell count, and we're gonna count how many rows and columns we have. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So we have 12 rows, and we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 columns. So we're gonna put 7 columns, 12 row, slice, and then apply. And I'm gonna choose this spot over here. So let's click on this arrow, and I'm gonna choose the first sprite. Let's drag it into the scene view or into our hierarchy, and I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna make the pixel per unit number a less, something around, we're gonna do 12 or 10, and 12 seems perfect number. And I'm gonna rename it to something like what, just like that. And we're gonna add some component. So the first thing, I'm gonna add a rigid body 2D. So we're gonna add a rigid body 2D, and I will make the gravity scale to something like 5, collision detection to continuous, and I'm gonna freeze the rotation about Z axis. If we don't do it, go over to rotation, play around with the Z axis, it's gonna rotate like this. So that's why I'm gonna freeze the rotation about Z axis. And also I'm just gonna add a collider 2D for collision detection. So let's click on add component, and I'm gonna add a circle collider 2D, and we're gonna adjust the collider as the size of our sprite. So we're gonna make the radius something like this, uh, just like this, I guess. And this seems pretty much fine, and we can just go ahead and we can make the animation. And to make the animation in a quick way, you can just select the sprites. So first three sprite is the ideal animation clip of this spot. So I'm gonna select them, then drag it over to top of this spot game object in the hierarchy. So it's gonna make the animation right away. And I will go to assets and animation folder I already created, and I'm gonna create a subfolder for this animation clip. So I'm gonna right click, new folder, and I'm gonna call this folder to something like destructibles underscore animation, just like that. And let's open up that subfolder, and I'm gonna call this animation clip to something like pot underscore idle. And if we go ahead our animation tab, click on this play button, we can see it's playing the ideal animation clip. And if you want, you can just remove these two animation clips. So I'm going to remove these two last two. So I'm going to select them, and make sure you click on that red button to capture the animation clip. And now I'm going to make the destructible animation clip of this bot. So to make that, last three 7 sprites, I guess. So 4 7, these are destructibles. So let's drag it top of this pot. I will go to assets, animation, destructible animation, and I'm gonna call this animation clip to something like pot explosion or explode. Let's call it explode simply. And if we choose that animation clip, we can see it's playing that animation clip, and the part just scattered around the level, getting scattered around this level. And now we need to make the animation transition from this pod idle to pod explode. So let's select the parameter, click on this plus icon, and I'm gonna choose a trigger, and I'm gonna call it something like explode. And let's make the transition. So I'm gonna right click on this idle, let's make transition to pod explode. I'm gonna choose the transition, let's uncheck the hash exit time, because I want to play this animation clip right away, which is the exploded one. And I'm gonna set the transition duration to 0, and I will choose that trigger condition, which is the explode one. So if we go ahead and manually trigger this parameter, then it's gonna play the pod explode animation clip. So let's check this out. If I try to trigger this trigger parameter manually, which is the explode, we can see it's playing the explode animation clip over again and again. So I don't want this animation clip to be looped. So we need to find out the animation clip where we place it. So in my case, I have done it inside this destructible underscore animation folder, and we can see these two animation clips. So I'm going to choose the pod underscore explode, and I will uncheck the loop time in the inspector. Now we just done that thing, and the animation clip not gonna be looped at all. And we can simply open up the player skip where we attacking. So let's open that up, and before we open up, we just want to tag this pod as a pod tag, or we just want to assign this pod as a pod layer. So we can, so our player game object will know that this is our destructible object. So I'm going to assign with a layer something like destructible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my pod, click on this layer, add layer in the inspector, then add layer, and we're going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call it something like destructibles. Let's call it destructible, and we are gonna assign with the that sorting that layer that we created. And you can see I just assign it, and now I'm gonna open up my player skip where we are attacking. I am attacking over here. You can notice I have the attack function, and one thing we forgot to do that is that I just want to assign this pod as a pod tag. So let's select the pod, and we're gonna click on this untag, then add tag, and we're gonna create a new tag for this destructible. So I'm gonna call it something like destructibles. Let's call it, sorry, destructibles, and that's it. And we're gonna assign with the tag which is destructibles. Now I assigned this pod as a destructible, and we will go to our script. The first thing what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check the tag. So we just attacking over here. So the first thing, I'm just gonna take the tag if the tag is equals to our destructible. So we're gonna use this if condition, and we're gonna use this call info, sorry, call info dot game object. And if you confuse about this attack, then I will have a tutorial in the description. You can go and check it out. So we're gonna type this call dot game object. So in our case, that will be that pod. And now we're gonna access that tag, and we will check if the tag is equals to our destructibles. Means we just the circle just collided with our pod. Now what we can do, we can simply destroy the pod right away, but we don't want to do that. Instead, we're gonna play that animation clip. So if we select our pod, then to move over to animator tab, we need to trigger this explode parameter. Trigger this explode parameter. So the first thing, we need to go over to animator component of this pod, and after that we can just trigger that parameter. So what we will do, we will go to call info dot game object, means the pod, and now we're gonna get the component. So let's use this get component, and the component we're looking for animator. So let's put it there, and now we're gonna use this dot set trigger function, and it's gonna take the parameter name inside quotation, which is our explode, and make sure you just spell it correct. So what we simply doing, so the first thing, we just checking the tag if it destructibles or not. So we just going over to this pod game object, then we going over to animator, you can see, and after that we just triggering the parameter which is the explode. And we can notice inside our code, and also check the tag name which is destructible, and it's fine to me. We're gonna select our player script, and over there you can see what is enemy. I only have chosen enemy layer, so I'm gonna choose this destructible as well because I want to damage it. Attack on this spot, it should play. So as you can notice, indeed it's played the explode animation clip. However, we can notice that the circle collider 2D is still active inside this pod. So so we need to disable it, and also we need to set the gravity scale to 0, so it's not gonna fall down due to gravity, because if we disable, it's gonna fall down. So we're gonna set the gravity scale to 0. So we need to get the reference rigid body 2D and the circle collider 2D of this pod, and also after some period of time we need to destroy that. So we're gonna get out of play mode and let's go over to our script. So the first thing, we're gonna take our pod game object. So let's go to call info. Sorry, we're gonna go to call info dot game object, so it means that pod. And now we're gonna store this game object into another game object variable. So we're gonna create a game object variable, and we can call it something like tame object. Let's call it tame object, just like that, and set equal to this. So what we simply doing, we basically taking this pod game object and we storing inside this game object variable that we created, which is the tame object. And now we're gonna get the rigid body 2D and the circle collider 2D. So first thing, we will go to tame object, means the pod, and now we're gonna use this get component, and we're gonna take the rigid body 2D, and now we're gonna access the gravity scale, and we're gonna set equal to 0 so it's not gonna fall down at all. And after that, we are ready to disable the circle collider 2D. So let's go to tame object, then got a get component, and then we're gonna get the circle collider 2D, and now we're gonna use dot enable, and we're gonna set equal to false. It means you just disabling the circle collider 2D. And after that, sorry, not equals, it should be equal. And after that, we need to destroy our pod after some period of time. To destroy it, we're gonna use the destroy function. And first thing, it's gonna take the game object, so in our case that will be tame object, means the pod. And the second thing, comma, we can specify the time. So after 10 seconds, I just want to destroy, so I'm gonna put 10f, just like that. So what we're doing, simply first thing, we just taking our pod and we putting inside into this tame object variable or the container. And then we just going over to tame object, means this pod, then getting this rigid body 2D and setting this gravity scale to 0. You can see this line of code. And also we doing the same thing, we getting the circle collider 2D and we just disabling it, and we destroying after 10 seconds. Now if I get closer to my pod and then attack on it, we can see it's played the destructible animation clip, and after some period of time it just get destroyed itself, because we just specified the time. And I have chosen 5 instead of I have chosen earlier 10, but later on I just changed with 5 second.